Eagles, please. I, from the bottom of my heart, am begging you to just go out and get the job done against the Vikings. I don't want to be ripping this team or talking about a 3-game losing streak or questioning the coach and quarterback and culture that have given us 2 NFC titles and a Super Bowl in the last 3 years. These are not things I want to do. I would rather call out Monday than do that show, quite honestly. So I'm freaking begging you, birds, don't do this to us. I don't want to hear the narratives and conversations that would come along with losing this game, let alone participate in them. For me personally, I need you to beat the effing Minnesota Vikings, okay? For my own sanity and for the sake of this town, in the words of the great Talia Shire, win. Everybody, how you doing? Well, that's good. Welcome to Philadelphia, presented by our friends at Bet Parks. My name is Bill Matz. I'm your director of fun and games for the afternoon. Joining me live in the Xfinity Lounge, it is the host of the PHLY Phillies program, my producer, Tyler Zulli. What's going on today, Tyler?
Bill, I'm begging you, please don't call out on Monday.
I wouldn't do it to you.
I don't know if I can do a Phillies off-season show and an Eagles lost show. Please don't.
I couldn't do it to you. We're going to talk about the Eagles. We're going to share our predictions in a little bit. We're going to have a lot to get to. But first, let's hit some headlines. First one today, the Flyers sure stunk last night. That sucked. 5-2 loss to Winnipeg. Our assessment of the game wasn't even that they really got outplayed. It's just that both teams sucked and one team had Mark Scheifele, so they won. It was just one of the worst hockey games I have ever seen. Somehow, there were 7 goals scored in that game, and there were only like 28 total shots on goal or something. No, it was like 17-15, so what's that, 32 shots? It was a horrible game. But hey, Matvei Mishkov scored his first goal of the season, so that's something. Unfortunately, the undefeated run at the Xfinity Mobile Arena has come to an end after merely a single game. This is going to sound, I don't know, ridiculous, but Tyler, is Joe Flacco a Hall of Famer to you?
No, I think he's in the Hall of Really Good. It's been an impressive career, but no, I don't think he's a Hall of Famer.
Like, it's just, to me, like anomalies and things like that belong in. And he is, if nothing else, an absolute freaking anomaly. At 40 years old last night, he became the first player ever to throw. I have the stat here. This was just absolutely ridiculous. Joe Flacco, first quarterback in NFL history with 300 pass yards, 3 touchdowns, and no picks in a game for 4 different teams. He's done it with the Ravens, Jets, Colts, and Bengals. Like, I realize it's just one game, but the fact that he's been on all of these different teams at this point, he's played for the Ravens, Broncos, Jets, Browns, Colts, Browns again, and now he's with the Bengals. They win on Thursday Night Football last night. You know who leads the NFL in pass attempts right now? Joe Flacco, 252. It is truly, and listen, like, he's played one more game. That's how Thursday Night Football works. But it's just, like, it's very funny to me that this is going on with this guy still. A 2008 draft pick, just out there doing his thing. The guy has arm, will travel. I find him endlessly interesting. And I know the Joe Flacco is elite thing, like, became a meme. But I will say, in that one playoff run, he absolutely was. and that was like what 15 years ago at this point.
Do you know how many? Do you know how many players from that 2008 draft are still active in the or still? I shouldn't even say still active in the NFL because I don't know if one is on a team, but at least still active, like trying to get jobs.
4,
3.
It's
Joe Flacco, Calais Campbell. He's been a very good player his whole career.
Yeah.
And then how about the ultimate journeyman, Josh Johnson?
I love Josh Johnson. I always went with Josh Johnson as my backup in Madden. Wow. Yeah. Oh wait, back when I still played video games. Like, that's insane. All right, yeah, I just had to bring up Joe Flacco, local guy. Like it's just wild that this is still going on. Shout out to those to Udell. All right, and finally, Tyler actually brought this last headline to my attention today. This is the sort of accountability we need. A KHL referee, the Russian Continental Hockey League, the second, maybe third best league in the world, has banned a referee for life. Permanently banned one of its referees after a controversial call in a game recently between SKA St. Petersburg and I can't even pronounce this other one, but SKA is one of the premier teams in the KHL. The KHL, while overall a good league, it's like 3 or 4 teams, and everybody else is kind of just fodder for those 3 or 4 teams. But they put out a ton of players. As per reports, the referee was banned for life for allowing a goal to stand when the puck entered through a gap in the side of the netting. Despite camera evidence, the official chose to uphold the call, allowing SKA a goal that many believe should not have counted. Man, I'm not saying we should take a ton of lessons from the KHL because it's basically just like Russian oligarchs playing with house money. But this right here is what I want, this sort of accountability for referees. This is what we need in North American sports. We go out there and we talk openly about like umpires. Yeah, he's got a rough strike zone, and the thing is, if you complain, it gets even worse. Like, it's known that like that is game fixing. That right there, like these things are known. Who's the referee in the NBA that just like hates Chris Paul? So like his record against Chris Paul, like Chris Paul's record is like 3-30 with this dude reffing games or something. Like these things are just known, and it's like, yeah, man, actually he's gonna referee the entire playoffs. He is in the baseball.
It's, Scott Foster.
Yeah, Scott Foster. Like it's just like it's a known thing. There's a feud between a really good player and a referee that's going on for a decade, and no one's gonna do anything about it. This dude makes one bad call, banned for life. Love it. Absolutely freaking love this. Way to go, KHL. Very much. Very much. We had 3 headlines today. 2 of them involved Russian hockey.
Hey man, how do you feel about my calls not being perfect? Well, I would hope that you would get them right. Well, actually, if you argue back, it's going to get worse,
yes.
and I'm gonna mean mug you the whole way.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that sounds reasonable. That's Major League Baseball.
That's
in a
just
nutshell.
Major League Baseball. The people who determine what is right and wrong are just like, oh, we carry grudges openly. If you address us directly, we kick you out.
Don't look at me wrong.
Yeah.
Don't speak to me.
If you think it's a ball and throw your bat before I say it's a ball and you can take your base, I'm calling it a strike. I don't care if it hit the dirt. And this dude, banned for life. I absolutely love it. All right, on the other side, we're going to get to Eagles Vikings. We are going to share our predictions and all of that great stuff, as I am begging the Birds to just win us this game so we don't have to worry about it. But first, got to tell you about our presenting sponsor. Whether your favorite team wins or not, there's always another way to win on the BetParx online casino app. You got to check out their brand new games like Huff N' More Puff, Fireblaze Sky Queen, which is a BetParx exclusive. It's the only app I use to play all my favorite casino games right in the palm of my hand. Been doing a little Huff N' More Puff, just a little downtime. I'm here at the studio, got time in between this show and the Flyers show. So guess what? take a couple spins on Huff and More Puff, turn my downtime into some fun time and maybe even some profitable time. But they've got blackjack, they've got roulette, they've got craps, poker, baccarat, and all sorts of great slots, cash eruption. They've got slots based on shows like The Walking Dead, movies like The Goonies. And right now, new users can get up to $1,000 casino bonus back if you're down in the first 24 hours. All you got to do is super easy. Go to betparks.com, download the app, and enjoy all the action and excitement from the casino at your fingertips. You must be 21 and in PA, Jersey, Maryland, or Michigan for BetParks. You love to play. You play to win. You bet. BetParks. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
All right, listen, are you a runner, a hiker, a biker, whatever it might be? If your knee or your back or your shoulder is giving you nagging pain, Rothman Orthopedics is here to get you back to doing what you love. Their team of specialists treat all kinds of orthopedic issues, from everyday strains to longer-term joint pain with care that's not only efficient, it's effective, and it's close to home. So don't let that pain keep you sidelined. Get back to doing what you love doing, especially with this beautiful fall weather that we're expected to have over the next couple of weeks. Schedule an appointment today at rothmanortho.com/PHLY. Rothman Orthopedics, your mobility, their mission.
All right, let's talk some birds. We got a little football Friday for you, and really this game comes down to my sanity. That's all I care about in this game. I don't want to be talking about a third consecutive loss for the first time since the end of the 2023 season. The Eagles, 2 straight losses. It's really that year. This is the last time they did that. Did not lose consecutive games all of last year. Here we are. If we get to 3, now it's all right. They're 4-3, and the tough part of the schedule is upon us. It's a conversation I just don't want to have, quite honestly. I want to run away with this division, go to the playoffs, and see what the hell happens from there. I said earlier in the week, I am giving the Eagles these 2 weeks to kind of just scratch it out, get it together, then go into the bye and figure out what is going wrong. But you need to be 6-2 at the bye. That is the absolute need for this team. And I think I found a little bit of a pattern that bodes well for the Eagles here, Tyler.
I'll take anything at this point.
The Vikings are 3-2. The 3 teams they have beaten, the Bears, the Bengals, and the Browns, they all begin with the letter B. Eagles does not begin with the letter B. We're in good shape here. The teams they've lost to, the Falcons and Steelers, a team named after a bird and a team that plays in Pennsylvania. It seems like we have this thing wrapped up based on the pattern. This is where we are with the Eagles right now, the defending Super Bowl champions who dropped 95 points between the NFC title game and the Super Bowl. This is where we are with them in my mind. I am grasping at straws because it has just looked so bad the last 2 weeks, but I have to grant them the little bit of grace because of what they did for us last year. I still have to give them these 2 weeks, and so I'm begging them, allow me to do that and just win this effing game.
Well, and nothing has changed in the last couple of weeks other than depth being tested, and there's not been any kind of wide sweeping change that says, hey, the Eagles started 4-0 because their offense was humming and then it stopped, or their defense was giving up 12 points a game and now it's giving up 28, right? It's kind of been the same team the whole season. The difference is really the difference between the first 4 weeks and the last 2 is you and I sat here a few weeks ago and said, yeah, there's things to work on. The offense isn't smooth. The defense is on the field a lot, but they're 4-0. And it's like at some point winning masks those things. When you're 4-2, now that doubt starts to creep its way in a little bit, and then you start to be able to pinpoint those things, right? The fact that they're struggling on third down, the fact that their run game has not been nearly as efficient, the fact that their offensive line, which has been lauded as the best, if not one of the best, if not the best for the last couple of years, not only is injured, but it's not playing particularly well this season. Defensively, they're on the field a lot because their offense isn't, performing. And so there's this tandem of things that are starting to cycle together that now that they're 4-2, now you're starting to feel like you're pressing a little bit, where when they were 4-0, you could go, yeah, they're not perfect, but they're 4-0.
Yeah, and we did get a little bit of good news yesterday. Quinyon was a full participant. The day prior, Jalen Carter had been a full participant. Yesterday, a limited participant. He says he's playing. Jordan Davis was a full participant. So was Zach Bond. So at least the defense is getting some semblance of healthy here. And I'm just hoping up against what appears to probably be Carson Wentz. It looks like it's trending in that direction. J.J. McCarthy was limited at practice. You can put some pressure on him. He's been sacked at least 3 times in his 3 starts. In each of his 3 starts, been sacked 12 times overall. Like, get some pressure, maybe turn him over a couple of times. The offense can do just enough, and you win this freaking game. Get to 5-2, and then get to your revenge game against the Giants. You need to win that out of pure freaking embarrassment from the last one. Like, that's what we're looking at right now. These 2, and then the bye, and then the season really begins. That's what we have to do, and I'm confident, or at least I'm hopeful they can do it because they just have enough good players. They haven't played well, but this team has enough good players to get it done. This is, like I said when I was talking about the Flyers game last night. When you just look at the rosters, you go, yeah, both teams kind of sucked, but the Winnipeg Jets have a couple more good players, so they win 5-2. That's what we need to see happen. I don't know if A.J. Brown is going to catch 9 balls for 180 yards and 2 touchdowns, but he has to make 2 plays that change this game. Quinyon Mitchell, I'm not saying he can keep Justin Jefferson in check, but he needs to make 1 or 2 plays that swing the momentum of the game. Same for Jalen Carter. Same for Saquon Barkley. Just do a couple of things. We know it's not going well. We can all see it. Season ain't going well. No one is playing at near the level they did last year. But show us a couple of those flashes and just do it. I think they can. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anybody's expecting 16 catches on 23 targets like Jamar Chase had last night because, A, that's not how the Eagles offense operates, and B, you know Jalen Hurts spreads the football around. One of the things that we've questioned, I would like to see addressed this week, and I don't even necessarily have a preference. Can it be the offensive line playing better? Can it be the run game that plays that functions a little bit better? Because I do think if there's a spot for this Vikings defense to be got, it's the run game. So because they're 24th in rush yards allowed per game this year, 132. Quinshon Judkins went for 110. Kenny Gainwell, 99. Bijan Robinson, 143. Caleb Williams and DeAndre Swift combined for 113 in their game against the Bears. This team can be beaten on the ground. Their pass defense has been excellent this year so far. They're amongst the league best in passing yards and things like that. But if you can get to them on the ground, I think the big thing to me is going to be establish the run in a way that you haven't so far this year. And third down conversions. Third down conversions are going to be huge to try to help win this game.
Just stay on the freaking field. Like, listen, I got Jake Elliott. You kick some field goals. At least my fantasy team's doing something. But put together some drives. Stay on the field so this defense that was freaking awesome last year at least has a chance. And that's where really, like you said, the run game and third downs come in. And this needs to be maybe the O-line game where they get it together. I'm hoping Lane Johnson's words after last week's game where he said this offense is predictable. The run game needs to hit the perimeter a little bit more. They were so good at those tosses and cracks last year. Maybe they can get back to that a little bit. There just needs to be one element that hasn't performed up to standard to this point that is considerably better than it's been. That's what we need. One phase of the game, the run game, the pass game, the run defense, whatever it is, has to step up to a much higher level than we've seen. I am going to state my prediction. I think this team can get this win, and they will come out of what I refer to as Southern Canada with a W. I am going to say they do just enough and win 20-17. The Vikings' defensive numbers are a little skewed because they had one game where they were absolutely freaking dominant, and it was against the Jake Browning
it was the Bengals,
with the Bengals.
Yes.
Like, I'm not counting that. The Bengals went and got 40-year-old Joe Flacco after that, so I'm not really going to put a ton of stock into that. But the defense has been got a couple of times. The offense is middle of the road. They need to be able to do just enough. 20-17 is my prediction. Tyler, what say you?
Yeah, I do think they win this game. I think it's a get right game in the sense that they don't lose a third consecutive game, but I don't think it's everything is okay. But as we talked about, if you can pick up one aspect of the game that has struggled so far, and like I said, I do think it does come in the run game because of the numbers we laid out. You brought up the numbers of like how good their pass defense is, right? 5th fewest points per game, 19.4 Minnesota. At home, they only give up 16 points a game. Now they have been in Europe for the last 2 weeks. So does the long flight play a factor into the opposition's offense, right? We see some pretty crappy games in London and in Ireland and things like that, the low-scoring games because it's a difficult travel. Does that play a factor into it, right? But the best thing that they do is get off the field on third down. Denver is the best third down defense in terms of conversions. The Vikings are second. You have to have a successful third down conversion percentage against them to be successful. I'm going to take the Eagles because of the skill, I think, of the overall roster being better than what the Vikings have. I don't particularly trust Carson Wentz to put up a ton of points, but I don't think it's going to be a pretty game. I have the Eagles winning 23-21. I don't think they cover. It's 2.5 as of right now. I don't even think they cover, but I'm going to go 23-21 Eagles.
Yeah, that's I think that's fair. I do think it's closer than we're going to want it to be. But at this point, it's not about style points. It's about getting to the bye 6-2. That's really the only thing I'm focused on right now. You talk about those third down conversions, and the way to make that happen is win on 1st and 2nd. So you're looking at 3rd and 3, 3rd and 2. These 3rd and longs, like when we talk about predictability, that's the problem. It's because there's no such play as the 3rd and 12 play. That's not something that's in the playbook. It's just kind of like, all right, we're going to hope, and that's where we get into the cowards draws where they just kind of give up and don't even give themselves a chance on third down. Really want to see those end as well, but you know what? Let's just worry about let's win on 1st and 2nd down so that you actually have a chance on 3rd. That's what it's going to come down to. Those are our predictions. I think it's the first time in a while we're on the same side, so we'll see how that works out, Tyler. All right, I do want to talk to you in just a minute about what happened at Dave Dombrowski and Topper's press availability yesterday. Their, locker clean-out day, basically. But first, I got to tell you about Ace Hardware. When the weather turns chilly, the last thing you need is a home project piling up. It's so much as is, and all of a sudden it's cold. Maybe you have a draft. It's no good. You don't want this on your plate. That's where Ace Hardware Home Services comes in, because Ace Hardware Home Services brings trusted local pros right to your door to help you get your home ready for the colder months. From heating tune-ups and plumbing fixes to generators and emergency repairs, their experts handle it all. There's no guesswork. There's no stress. Just a local pro to get the job done right, and your satisfaction is always guaranteed. Find the help you need for your next home project at acehardwarehomeservices.com.
All right, let me tell you about our incredible offer that we have here. Well, not our offer, but we're pairing up with an incredible place. It's Ashley, an Ashley fan cave. Picture this. You actually want a setup that you can be happy about, right? It's one that you think about bringing friends over for the game, having a big party, whatever it might be. It's a fan cave that actually feels like your dream setup. And thanks to Ashley, that could be real. They're giving away a $2,500 Ashley Furniture gift card. So you could go big on that sectional or add a stylish piece to your living room. Or you could trick out your space for game day. It's all up to you. So head on over to ashleyfancave.com to see if you're eligible. All you have to do is fill out the form and boom, you're entered. And just like that, you have a chance at a $2,500 Ashley Furniture gift card. It's that simple. Enter now and you might be watching the next big game day in a fan cave that's built by you, courtesy of Ashley.
All right, I want to talk about the Phils, but first, you all need to hit the freaking like button. Do it. I need the likes. They make me feel good about myself. All right, Tyler. So you were down at CBP yesterday. You were covering the Dombrowski and Topper press conferences. We don't have a ton of time left in the show. This is what always happens. So I just want to talk to you about the Bryce Harper stuff. If you want this fully covered, obviously watch Tyler's PHLY Phillies show right here in the YouTube. I bet you he talked a lot about it today. This Bryce Harper
find
thing.
out. No free press.
Yeah, this Bryce Harper thing where Dave Dombrowski says he's still a quality player. He's still an all-star caliber player. He didn't have an elite season like he's had in the past. I guess we only find out if he becomes elite or he continues to be good. You know, this is a very honest and realistic opinion, and it is not something I was banking on hearing whatsoever.
No, it was Jim Salisbury talked about it today. It was a very blunt assessment of his star player. Jim seems to think, a GM or a president of baseball operations with less like gravitas would be able to do this. But because Dave Dombrowski's been around a while, because I think Bryce Harper gets it, he understands that it was a challenge to Bryce Harper. Not necessarily a you stink challenge, right? Yeah. That's not what it was. But it was a, hey, you're the face of our franchise. You are our best player. What can you do next year to turn around a season that was good, but probably not good enough for your standards? Because Dombrowski followed up and said, I bet you if you would ask Bryce Harper, he'd tell you it wasn't a very good season. And it was a fine season,
he was okay,
but not to Bryce Harper standards. So I think it was just more of a challenge to his best player, knowing that he has the mental fortitude to take it.
And I don't think you could do this with everybody. I don't think a guy, like you said, with less pedigree could do this, but Dombrowski, very well respected, been around forever. Bryce Harper, you kind of know what kind of guy he is, the way he's going to take this as more of a challenge and yeah, man, do you think I think what I did was good? 260 and like an 817 OPS? No, that's not what we're looking for from Bryce Harper. He knows he needs to be better. So, I don't worry about the comments. I'm just you don't hear that very often, especially about the dude with 6 more years left on a $330 million deal. That's just not something we're really used to hearing from executives in town or anywhere. It was honest. Can he rise to the next level again? I don't really know that answer. Oof. That's as blunt as you're going to get. And listen, I love Bryce. I hope he's here forever. I hope he's the mayor of the city one day, whatever. But we need this dude to be the guy we signed, or at least some semblance of it. He had a nice season, but he needs to be special while he's still mobile. At a certain point, Bryce Harper is going to be broken down. He might still be signed to this contract when it happens. I hope we're not there yet, because if that's the case, this whole house of cards kind of just comes down because it's built around him. Well,
I think in a sense you're right there. I do think that we all expected when you sign those long-term deals, not just Harper, but Harper, Nola, Turner, these guys, the back end of the deals were going to be maybe a little bit albatross because you're looking at guys who aren't in their prime anymore. But I think the flip side of it is by the time you get there, $25 million is, I don't know, the 60th highest paid player per year, right? Because contracts just keep going up and up.
That's
the hope on that on the flip side. But I do think it's fair to say, hey, listen, we don't know how much time you've got left as an elite level player. Try to be an elite level player.
I was just reading K-Red's comments. Maybe not the mayor. Man would be changing all the milk in the public schools to raw milk. Yeah, we could use a shake-up, No, maybe not the mayor. It would be funny, though. A guy with the Fanatic tattoo would get 100% of the vote. All right, I want to hit 3 stars before we get out of here today, Tyler, because I promised Scrapple Discourse, and the 3rd star of the week, well, we have a Scrapple sculpture of the Tush Push. Last weekend at the Reading Terminal Market, there was a Scrapple sculpture contest, and Norristown tattoo artist Patrick Moser won the contest with this Scrapple sculpture of the Tush Push. And honestly, I want to know what lost if this won. I was expecting when I saw Scrapple sculptures, that'll probably be funny and good. It just looks like mush. I love Scrapple, big fan of Scrapple. If this was fried up and available, sure, I'd eat it. A little syrup on there, but that does not look appetizing or particularly well made.
That was my first question to you, is
what lost?
What lost? Because it looked like no disrespect to Patrick Moser. I'm sure he worked hard on it. But
he absolutely did. Good for him. He won.
There's nothing there that intrigues me. It just looks like a pile of Scrapple.
But
quite frankly, not a good one.
Yeah, you're not a Scrapple guy, which upsets me. For food takes, for the most part, I'm people like what they like, leave them alone. I love Scrapple so freaking much. There used to be, there still is, as far as I know, this diner in Glassboro right by Rowan, Angelo's, that we used to go to. They opened at 5 a.m., and we would go there, like party all night after work.
At the end of the night.
At the end of the night, we would go there like 5. They're opening up, and they do scrapple the absolute best. And we'd just get like 3 or 4 of us a plate of like 12 pieces and just sit there and hammer scrapple. I love it so much.
Yeah, I'm not a scrapple guy. I'm not interested in it. I wasn't interested in it before I found out what was in it. I'm definitely not interested after the fact. So more for you. If they ever bring in someone in the studio, you don't have to worry about me stealing it.
That would be wonderful. All right, star number 2 this week is the Beer Saber. What is the Beer Saber? It is this pretty cool thing that they have available at Buffalo Sabres games this year. You go to the game, you want the Phillies have the bat. You see all the different things that teams do to make their super expensive beer a little more interesting. You get a little souvenir with it. Well, they have the Beer Saber, and I got to say it's pretty freaking cool. And quite honestly, they need to double the size. Buffalo fans freaking deserve something. There's got to be some sort of reason to go to a Sabres game. Last year, Buffalo started the season 0-3, being outscored 10-3. Not to be outdone this season, they started 0-3, being outscored 10-2. They did just beat the Sens 8-4 for their first win of the season the other night. But the Sabres have missed the playoffs 14 straight years. And I wouldn't bet on that streak ending at 14. Like, it's going to hit 15. Buffalo made the conference finals the first 2 seasons out of the lockout in 06 and 07. They got all the way to the 3rd round of the playoffs. Then in the summer of 07, Danny Briere signed here. Chris Drury signed with the Rangers. They've missed the playoffs 16 of 18 years since. And the 2 years they made it, 2010 and 2011, they lost in the first round. I know it's been rough here with the Flyers, but at least it hasn't been that. Buffalo, I salute you, and I salute your choice of beer vehicle. All right, and finally, I got to salute the city of Cleveland because they are actually charging. They are actually charging the Browns to move. The Browns want a new stadium outside of downtown near the airport. And not only are they paying for a lot of it, quite a bit of it, the state is kicking in some, but the Haslams, the Browns, have to pay the city of Cleveland and the state $100 million for demolition and all the things that are going to go along with taking down their current stadium, which is on the waterfront. They want to revitalize the waterfront. Great way to renew interest is remove the Browns. So there you go, right there. But they're going to have to pay for the demolition, and they're going to have to pay the city of Cleveland $5 million annually from 2029 through 2033, as well as $2 million per year from 2029 through 2038 for community benefit projects. The Browns owe the good people of Cleveland at least that much in damages for mental and emotional distress, and I'm glad to see the people collecting something here. The city and state shouldn't be kicking in at all for this team. They should try to probably be booting them out, but at least they're getting something in the deal, and I have to salute Cleveland for that. You should be charging that team rent.
The jersey, the one guy has the screenshot of where it's all the quarterback names listed, and there's like 25 names. So no matter how bad you think you have it, you are not a Cleveland Browns fan?
You know, I'm on here complaining about a 4-2 team, and I just don't want to come in Monday and do that sort of show. Imagine being on like Cleveland Sports Talk Radio.
It's not even
what the hell do you do?
It's not even just the Browns. The Guardians have not won a World Series since 1948. We're talking about closing in on 80 years since a World Series, and the only thing of relevance the Cavaliers have done has surrounded the times that they've had LeBron James. Now, last year they were very, very good. This year they're probably going to be very, very good, and I expect them to make a deep run. But other than the LeBron James era, the Cavs have not been particularly good. Both eras, right? They've not been particularly good. Being a Cleveland fan has to suck.
It really must be. Like, we were talking during the one Guardians game, like, is this just their lot in life? They make the playoffs and lose? Like, is that what they actually are? Like, yeah, so at least Cleveland's getting something out of the deal. Those are the 3 stars of the week, and that is all the time we have for you on Philadelphia this week. Thank you all for listening. Thanks for hanging out. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Follow us right here on YouTube, and hit the like button as well. There's way more people watching than we have likes, so give me the freaking likes. All right, follow me on Twitter at Philadelphia PHLY. and follow the podcast wherever you get those. Just search Philadelphia. All right, I am Bill Matz. Thank you to Tyler Zulli. Until next week, go Birds.
We all silly like the mayor.